I'm Liz. Today I'll be talking to you about the frequent item sets using an a priori algorithm. And we're going to use that on pizza toppings to see if there's a correlation or a link or what pizza toppings go better together. So I created my own data set. I couldn't find anything out there that was really worth using. So I just made a simple survey and listed all of the toppings I could think of off the top of my head, and then put another option for those that didn't like my choices or had a better idea. So after you create the survey, you get a responses, and it tells you all the percentages of what was picked. Excuse me, what I liked about the other response is it allowed people to type things in. A lot of people knew how to capitalize ranch or spelt linguiça the same way, so it worked out beautifully for that. For something like white sauce, this one is capital W, capital S, and this one was a capital W, lowercase s, so that would have messed up my data. So going forward, I would have added these choices and had better options for people to pick. But in this screen here, you can actually just download this and make it into a CSV, a comma separated value, which I have done so. And so we'll just open that and show you. We'll zoom in just a little bit so you can see better. So it came up with two columns. The first column is a date timestamp of the first person that every time they made a survey, it timestamped it. And then it made a second column with a semicolon separated values of the toppings that they picked. So if they picked the 3, you got 3. If it was just 1, there was 1. And so that's what it created from the Google Forms document, which was very beneficial for me. And then, and then we went over to the Jupyter Notebook. And so I used an a priori algorithm from something called Apriori library on Google because my other algorithm wouldn't work properly. So we're going to import those, and then we're going to load that pizza data.csv that was just created. And as you can see here, it's the same thing that we just saw in the Excel sheet. This is just me transforming it a little bit. I'm going to get rid of those date stamps and I'm going to make them like a number just to say like order 1, order 2, and this stays the same. Here we're going to split this by their semicolons. So it shows up in their own columns, pepperoni and sausage, pepperoni, sausage, onions, pineapple, onion, salami, and so forth. And then this, I created a new CSV of this to use for the RapidMiner table, the RapidMiner program. Okay, it did not like my regular pizza, so we'll just call it pizza 1. And this is just a way to make it a CSV to put into RapidMiner. I borrowed this code from Allison, but there was also another code website. It's listed here that I found. Code Speedy, that's what it was called. Code Speedy had this way of extracting the information from my tables and then putting it in a better format to use for the a priori algorithm. And then here I just played around with these numbers between Googling and doing things on RapidMiner and doing things in Python and seeing what Allison did, seeing what other people did. These numbers gave me a decent amount of data that I thought was useful to use. So when you run that, it comes out like this. It's very messy, but you can see here, barbecue chicken and bacon has a support of 0.06. It has a confidence of 0.5151. A lift that we haven't really gotten into, but it has a 2.714. And it has those for lots and lots and lots of data. So onions and mushrooms and peppers. And then also borrowed from Allison's code, I did one of these to make it a little bit more visual. and kind of pull out the important things because a couple of nuns were in there, as you can see right here. There was a nun. And so these were what I got. I don't know. I can't do this. Okay, good. These are the numbers I got when I ran it in Python. And so now going over to RapidMiner, you can see here, this is the data set that I entered in. I also have it here if you were interested. This one I might have opened the wrong one, but it looks just like that. And so I imported it here, and then we created this flow chart, this process in RapidMiner. So you load the data. I don't think I needed to rename and set the roles, but I did anyways. And then here you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I did the same support. So that 0.05. I just picked these numbers because I thought that would be a good point to look at. And then for the create association, I used the same numbers that I used in Python just to see what would happen. And then I ran it. And then here you can see the association. So this is the support threshold. I kind of did it this way, where you can see the highest support, but this is just for one item. So I'm going to change it to 2 because the whole point is what toppings go together. So if it's one topping, it kind of defeats the purpose. So if you do 2, the highest support threshold has pineapples and ham. Who would have thought? And if you go over to here, you can also see the highest support threshold. They're both pretty much the same, was the ham and pineapples, 0.164, 0.164. So the same thing for that. Also in RapidMiner, you can see an association rule and the 164. So then the confidence here, I thought this was interesting that so if people ordered pineapple, they're only 57% likely to order ham. But if they order a ham pizza, they're like 70% likely to order pineapple on it. But either way, they have the same amount together. But some of them might have had like I think I saw salami with one of them, or one of them might have something else. So I think that played a big factor in that. But so I was going to go here because we can see the confidence level. So the same thing. So the 0.703. So it came out pretty much the same, which was very cool. I don't know, what I've learned about pizza toppings because I didn't have a lot of choices, but this was very neat to do. One thing I do like about RapidMiner is it shows you way more options. So here it tells you all the different confidences of, so if they had onions, peppers, what is the chance of mushrooms? Or if they had onions and mushrooms, what is the chance of peppers? Like they were the same on all the different pizzas or percentage of pizzas, the support threshold, but the confidence changes depending on what else it was with, which I found was very interesting. I think RapidMiner gives too many options, or maybe it's just how I imported the data. But it was very interesting and fun to learn about. And so I thank you very much. And I hope you have a great winter break.